Nancy was dead for 7 minutes from a heart collapse due to lack of blood. As I stood in the light, I thought, this must be a dream, and then I found myself flying down a road at perhaps 90 miles per hour. My peripheral vision was wider than usual, and I could see energy patterns like those optic fiber flowers you can buy around the trees as I passed them. I was fully conscious of everything, feeling and thinking very clearly. I came to a Y fork in road and saw a brown paneled station wagon pass in front of me. Next I traveled to my home on Earth, where I stood on the front step, looked at ground, saw frost on grass, and thought, how funny, I don't feel cold. Next, I was on my bed and could feel the chenille bedspread. I was very thankful it had all been a dream, but then I heard people talking downstairs and I got up to see who they were. As I confronted them, all hanging out on couch and kitchen table, they started saying, hello, and talking to me. I knew by the southern accent that they must be relatives, but I didn't know who they were. As I looked around, I started thinking they looked like people I knew that were dead. They kept visiting. I was talking to a lady that said she had to go. But please tell my mother hello for her and that she still thinks of her. I walked her to the front door, and instead of going out through the door, she just vanished in front of me. I stood there thinking, this isn't a dream, nothing is out of place, but this woman just disappeared in front of me. Then the main lady talking to me said, it's not your time yet, you have to go back. Then she said, think about it, you remember. Then it was clear at that moment, so I said to her, I'm dead, aren't I? She replied, yes, but it's not your time yet, you have to go back, you're our go-between. I didn't want to return and I proceeded to argue about it. But then I thought of my mother and how she would never forgive herself if I didn't live. Then I lifted off the floor and they all waved and told me to tell everyone. Hi for them, I felt like I was sucked up in a vacuum. Next thing, I felt the paddles of the defibrillator the doctors were using to shock my heart into pumping, and I sat straight up and chewed out all the people in the emergency room for making me come back. The next day when my mother was in my room, I told her. She confirmed that I described the house to a T. The lights, how some things were switched on or off. The doctor would not comment on my dying, but many of the orderlies confirmed that I had been gone for almost 7 minutes. I believe that time is not the same on other side, but more accelerated than here. I have come to find out who all the visitors were and have passed on some of the messages they left me with. I now seem to be able to sense spirits and psychically discern things around me, but I kind of did that before too. I sometimes feel homesick for the other side. But I know I have to wait for my time. People should not be afraid of dying. You won't be alone. You have loved ones there waiting to guide you. And they are just like us, body and all, but in their prime and healthy. But never consider suicide. It's like dropping out of school and you will still have to deal with problems there. If you hang in, you will find love and happiness when we all join up again. Just do the best you can. The experience is even longer than I can write here, so if you want more details, please call on me.